Hey everybody, I don't know if this is live or not. I'm going to try and check on my laptop here so I can see questions if anyone happens to join. I didn't schedule this, so I'm just gone live and see what happens. But we're at Chicopee, Massachusetts, site of the first Electrify America stations. 4 of them here. One, which is this one, which I'll explain in a sec why I'm hooked up to the CHAdeMO, and or hooked up to the only CHAdeMO station. 2 150 kilowatts and then another 350 kilowatt station here. So let's see if I'm live or not. The only way I can do this and actually see the questions, if there are any, is by looking at the stream on my laptop here. So apologies for not looking at the camera. If you can see this and you're watching, thank you very much. Just leave a comment so I know you're there. I'm going to turn the sound down here. So I think the angle is such that you can see the station here. I'm at around 50%. We've done a lot of driving today, so the battery is nice and warm. I think I can show you that. Let's see. So just with Torque Pro fired up here, we're at more than 80 degrees Fahrenheit on the battery. Maybe I'll just flick it around. There we go, it's a bit better. So yeah, we're at we've done 152 miles now. It started out right at the eastern end of the Masspike at the Shell recharge station at Boston Logan, and came all the way out here to Chicopee, Massachusetts. We've stopped at pretty much every fast charging CCS station that is within 5 miles of the Masspike. And I was going to go all the way out to Lee, Massachusetts, right in the western part of the state, but it's essentially the same as some of the others that we've seen on the Masspike, just off at the rest areas. So I'll just think I'll put those in from old trips, because we usually stop at those before we hit New York State. So you can see the battery temperature has warmed up a lot here. We started out this morning at about, the external temperature was 8 degrees Fahrenheit. And the battery was starting at about 26 degrees, so we were pretty cold. And I did get the lowest fast charge rate that I've seen on the 2020 Bolt EV, starting up at our local Electrify America station. We were down at 21 kilowatts. Normally every other cold weather session we've done, which has mostly been around freezing, 32 degrees, or in the high 20s, has started at 30 kilowatts, and I was kind of assuming that was going to be the boring end of it. We'd only ever see 30 kilowatts when we started up, but we obviously left it cold soaked and got it freezing enough that it was a startup rate of 21 kilowatts. It did start to rise. I didn't do a full session, which I'll do that in future when I'm a bit closer to home. But the idea was to cover as many stations as possible here on the Masspike, and including this one here, which is the first Electrify America station that opened up way back in May 2018. And this is actually my second visit. On the way out, I did stop through here, and it was empty when I arrived. I obviously didn't plug straight into the CHAdeMO station here, but I'll explain why I'm on it now. We went over to the station which is a bit further across there. You'll see number 2. There's 2 right here, 4 and 3, and on the other side you can see stations 2 and 1. All of the rest of the plugs are CCS, and I tried station 2. I wanted to try starting from the ChargePoint app because it does recognize these stations in there, which is not the case for a lot of Electrify America stations. So I was hoping to get some kind of early beta on roaming between ChargePoint and Electrify America, but that did not work at all, and it proceeded to get even worse as the app, Electrify America app, wouldn't start up. The number 2 did start up on number 3 just behind this one here, but that was only giving me 30 kilowatts. So it seems like a couple of these are derated to 50 kilowatts. A Bolt 2019 Bolt EV pulled in here and did what did they do? They were on, they were doing the same as me, I would guess. They got up to 50 kilowatts or so. And then a e-tron pulled in and was only pulling 36 kilowatts. Brand new, still had dealer plates on. Don't think he was too happy with the charge rate. So we did say hello. And if you watch this, then I hope you got much better luck than I did on the first station here. I obviously came back to try again, and it's tapering down now. But we started up at 51 kilowatts, so I was relatively happy with that. I'm going to jump into the live stream here just to say hello, and you can let me know if you want to see anything. So I am just typing away. This was the only way. I've done live streams before on my phone. I just could not see the questions. So this is where we're at. And if you want to see anything at this particular site, let me know. And we will endeavor to take a look. So you can see it's been snowing, obviously, big piles of snow. This is much better than some of the others we visited. I actually went to an EVgo site. It's a little further to the west of here, and it was completely snowed out. It was a mobile gas station that just hadn't been plowed. I guess they're closed or whatever has happened, but that station was behind about a foot of snow, so there was no charging there. But we've got some piles they've judiciously plowed to the side here, which is nice. And I'll show you some more of the Torque Pro. People seem to be interested in that in the last video, the winter tips video, so I will try and do a video of this, setting this up and what data you can get. But you can see we're, let's see here. You can see the battery has had a lot of time to warm up. That's, you know, you've got to do a couple of fast charging sessions to get anywhere close to that. Air temperature, we're reading 34 degrees Fahrenheit on the Torque Pro. The car is saying 28 degrees. This is not reset, so take all this data with a grain of salt. And this is the actual trip thus far. So this is from a little knocking around Boston, checking out some of the fast charge sites, and then heading west. We checked out sites off the Masspike at Framingham, Charlton, Massachusetts, had a look at the Auburn, Massachusetts Mall, where there is a supercharger and Electrify America site. Actually found the Electrify America site kind of won out a little bit there due to convenience and power. And the supercharger site there is a version 2, so it was only up to 100 kilowatts for those folks. But the site is a good one in general. There's a lot of different stuff around there, so that will be in the full video of all this. Not sure how much more I can really show you. This is just kind of noting that this Electrify America site has been here for 2.5 years now, I guess. The equipment is looking a bit dated. Maybe I'll step out and have a quick look around. But it still works. This one works, and some of the others have kind of seen better days, but we'll take a look, walk around. So we're past the taper point, around 50%. That'll taper down. 2020 Bolt EV is going to gradually taper away. The 2017, 2018 and 2019s will do a sudden step down in charge rate, around 50-55%, and then another one up into the 60s, and then you start to slow rapidly from the higher 80-90% levels. Still got these tagging. I think this may have come off. I don't see these on the newer ones, but you'll see Volkswagen Group of America company. They may have taken that off in others because they don't want to promote that too much. It's supposed to be brand new. So the Audi e-tron that I was talking about went on this one, got 36 kilowatts. I tried on this one, was only getting 30 kilowatts. We'll see. Was used to it, so this one is just a no-go as far as I can tell, but the Audi let's get it going. This is the 150. It's a Home Depot, so you have to do your lumber shopping whilst you do this charge. Another 350 kilowatts. And a very dirty Bolt charging. Now at 40 kilowatts. So let me see. I hope the stream's holding up. This is on the car's Wi-Fi, so good luck. So I'll keep an eye on that so you can watch the charge session. I'm not going to hang around too long, so I do have to get on the road, but I wanted to see if this worked. Live streaming direct from the camera, and just give a chance to ask any questions really. We did actually jump on a Electrify America cycle free investment call a couple of weeks ago now, but they were talking about having I forget the percentage, pretty high, into the 90s I think, having an Electrify America site within like 90 something percent of the US population. Now obviously that doesn't help folks trying to cross places like North Dakota, South Dakota, your Idahos, some of the stations where, or areas where you would like a station or two to go on those longer trips cross country. But they have got two of these routes crossed, I-90 being one of them if I recall, and there's another one further south. So this is one of the early ones. It's only about what are we, 90 miles from Boston, 80 or 90 miles. So we're heading back east to Boston to check out one more site on the way home. But this is the last stop of the day, or penultimate stop of the day, for charging at least. So I've been waffling on for more than 10 minutes here. You can leave any questions down below. Even after this is finished, I will try and answer anything I can. As far as the cold weather goes, we did start pretty cold this morning. It was down in 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're back up, still below freezing here, but we're back up to close to 32 degrees. So not as chilly as it was, but it's actually held up pretty well, the efficiency here. This is since I started this morning in that 8-degree weather. It's we've done a lot of highway driving here, so this is, you know, spirited Masspike driving, shall we say, and covered all this the last 20 miles or so, maybe, pottering around the local towns, catching some of the local charge stations. Lots of EV go around here in Westfield, Springfield and Chicopee, right in the middle of Massachusetts, and mostly just looking at the east-west routes here. Don't want to stay on for too long, but you can see obviously 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Normally you'd feel pretty sad about that, but again, just so many charging sessions in this. I've been blasting the heat. We've had lots of climate settings pushing here, keeping the car warm. So given the temperatures, given the speeds, and all that, it's actually not too bad. I found the worst we usually see if we're trying to preserve energy is, you know, 2.9, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So given that that's not too much of a hit there, don't mind that much. And the other thing to call out, I guess, is the battery heater seems to only want to go on when we're fast charging, and also seems to cut off around this 80, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. It's trying to get the pack up into this, you know, 80s bracket. I thought it would be a bit lower. I thought 70s would be fine, because we were achieving the peak rate of the Bolt EV around 50 kilowatts once we were at 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the pack temperature. But it's still kicked in every time I've plugged in. It's got the power to do it, I guess, so it wants to condition, it will do that, but it's kept it up. We haven't seen any too slow rates since about 30 or 40 miles into the journey. So the takeaway from this, as we sign off here, is cold weather charging. You want to start from a full battery, obviously at home if you can, precondition before you leave once or twice. Then the highway speeds will take care of most of the warming up the battery pack. You may start at a slightly slower rate. You know, you may see something in this kind of range, the mid 30s to 40s if you're on an Electrify America site. But the general thing is that as long as you've done a decent amount of driving, the pack will be closer to this more ideal temperature range of 70 to 80 degrees. My battery is going to run out. But the battery heater will go to work. As I said, I'll do a full session on Torque Pro and a video at some point soon. But once you've got the cabin up to heat, the maximum it's going to draw is about 7 or 8 kilowatts. So that's initial, but if you've got it up to a decent temperature that you're comfortable, then you're looking at maybe a 3 to 4 kilowatt draw. As you maybe cycle the heater on, just keep it a bit lower, 70, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not too bad. And then you're just keeping the heat topped up. So that has worked for me, and we haven't seen too much of the cabin heater drawing much more than 3 kilowatts, 4 kilowatts tops. And that's about it, I guess. I'll do a full video of this. You can see all the stations I've looked at today, how the Massachusetts Turnpike has pretty much stayed the same. Actually, it's got some good coverage, but starting to feel a bit dated now. Some of these stations are scuffed up. A lot of the ones off the Masspike at these service areas are just one single EVgo 50 kilowatt. None of them were busy today that I've hit so far, but when they are, you could easily lose 20-30 minutes waiting for that car to charge. So we need a bit more redundancy here. These ones are good in their own right as long as they work when you jump onto them. As I said, just a reminder, I'm on this one. If a leaf turns up, I will leave so that they can use the chatter mode. But the others were either slow, derated power down to 50 kilowatts, which delivers about 30 or 35 kilowatts in reality, or just not working at all. The first one was payment declined, even though I'm an account holder. So going to sign off now. Thank you everyone for joining. I will